Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Dale Dix, and I'm going to take a few moments to share with you a model that I refer to as the circle of knowledge. I did not create this model. As a matter of fact, I met a gentleman some 10 years ago who shared this model with me. After working with me for some time and making certain observations of me, he decided that, or he felt that there were a couple character flaws or deficiencies that this model might be very useful and helpful in rectifying. And I am forever grateful that he did, because it has truly had a profound effect on my life. So much so that I am compelled to share it with others at every opportunity, and that's why I'm sharing it with you today. So let's get started. Now, if you will, imagine a circle. Imagine this circle representing your total capacity for information or knowledge. And it's true for you just as it is for me, that there's a small piece of this circle that represents all of the things that I know I know. Are you following me? Now, there's an equally small piece of the circle that represents all of the things that I know I don't know. Question. If this small piece of the circle represents all that I know I don't know, and this small piece represents all that I know, what do you suppose this larger remaining portion of the circle represents? Now, I'm looking for words that are in keeping with I know and I know I don't know. What do you think? I heard someone over here. I heard another response over here. And you know, both of you are somewhat correct. But more accurately, what I'm looking for is that this portion of the circle represents all of the things that I don't know I don't know. Wow! Fascinating, wouldn't you agree? I mean, that was my reaction when this was shared with me for the first time. You know, I know that there are a few people here today who've known me for a little while, and I know that you could not imagine, not in your wildest dreams, that I was ever the kind of person who was not open-minded and receptive to new ideas and different things. But the truth of the matter is that I was. And this person, feeling my pain, thought enough of me to pull me aside and share this model with me. Okay? Now, another question that I have for you is this. What do you suppose happens to this area? Again, the area representing all of the things that I don't know as this area gets bigger. What do you think? I heard someone over here say it gets smaller. I heard another response over here that said it gets bigger. Well, let's take a closer look. Let's explain. Now, would you agree that many times in learning, that the learning takes place not instantly, but it takes place over time? Would anyone agree with that? I know it's been my experience on many occasions where I did not even realize that I had attained new knowledge until I was confronted with a situation and I acted and I demonstrated that newfound knowledge. And many times it was weeks, months after I started the learning process. Can anyone relate to that? Okay, well then that kind of explains the fact that learning and growth in learning or knowledge takes place incrementally, and therefore it looks more like this. And because the learning takes place incrementally, what happens is the circle actually gets larger And thus the area representing all of the things that I don't know also gets larger. Wow, that's fascinating. You know, when I was introduced to this, I reflected upon my own growing up. And while I was growing up, I had the privilege and the pleasure of interacting with and being exposed to some pretty smart people in many instances. And I remember being confounded by the fact that these very smart people seemed to have this insatiable appetite to learn more. Even more so, far more so, than people who, in my opinion, were not so smart, were not so learned. And that fascinated me and it confounded me until I saw this model. Now I understand. You see, as we become more knowledgeable, as we grow in our knowledge and become more learned, we become more keenly aware of the vastness of this area out here that represents the unknown. The things that we don't know, we don't know. Now, for the more astute of us, we can also make the connection that this area also represents opportunity, potential for success, growth, personal development, creation of wealth, ultimate success. Well, folks, that concludes my presentation today. My greatest hope is that you got something from this, that you got something from the model, that you got something from the presentation. Now, I also understand that there are a lot of moving parts here, and therefore you may not grasp all of this in one sitting. As a matter of fact, most people don't. I certainly did not. But I would encourage you to, as you leave here today, to continue to reflect on the model, reflect on the presentation, and I assure you that if you haven't already, that in time, you will start to see things differently. And this model and your understanding of it and your execution or your incorporating it into your life will have positive results for you just as it has for me. Again, this has been Dale Dix, and as always in parting, remember, success, like life, is not a destination, it's a journey.